first thing we can look at is master pages, or a template. It basically creates a really quick way of making web pages. So let's imagine you work for the BBC. This is the template used on every web page, where we've got the logo in the top corner, we've got our links, we've got an image on every page, and then the news story to go with every page and the picture. Now look how quickly it takes you to create a new web page with the BBC. Let's create a new page. Here we go. And what I can do then is just fill out the content here with my news story. If I want to create a new one, I just simply put in a new page, and there you go, we've got another new page. It means I don't have to start all from scratch. It means that every page will look exactly the same, so it looks professional. If I had to remake it every time, imagine if I got the logo slightly in the wrong position, or imagine I got the links the wrong way around. Another advantage of a template is it gives you a structure, a framework. So if you want to make changes, I can do it really quickly. Look, let's imagine that the BBC do not want to anymore, for some reason, have a link called Nando's on their webpage. I mean, why wouldn't you want a link called Nando's? We're going to get rid of it. It's gone. Now, look what happens. It's changed on every page. If the BBC have 250,000 web pages, imagine having to go through every single web page individually, deleting the word Nando's. The template, it does it all at once. Imagine that the BBC want to change the position of the logo. No longer do they want it in the top left-hand corner. They don't want it in the top left-hand corner. What they do, they want it in the top right. Now look what happens on every page straight away. It changes it. Perfect. Finally, it's great because you probably have no web design skills. So you don't actually have to make any of the web pages. All you have to do is fill in the content by typing out your news story, going blah, 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 blah. That's all you have to do. So it's quick. You don't have to have any design skills. And it updates all pages at once because it gives you a framework and it keeps all the pages professional and consistent. So that is a master page. Number 2, the home page. The home page is the main web page of a website, or for a person, or for a business, or an organization. It's a page where everyone goes to when they first enter your website. It's a starting page. First impressions count. It has to look good. It's the most important web page on your entire website. Also, you need to have the most important information on this web page. Where this has got a nice advertising, finding a Nando's. You can then search for your Nando's. You can see the menu. It's got the most important information Nando's want. Finally, it's got to have a good way for you guys to navigate, move around the website. So you've got your links on your menu up here. So it's easy to move around the website. Very, very easy. So that is the home page. The next thing we're going to look at is site navigation. Good navigation means how easy it is to move around a website. Navigation allows you to move and find information really quickly with as little effort as possible. So you don't want to be clicking your mouse loads and loads of times. It should be a few clicks to get to where you want to go. Now there are 3 types of navigation. The first is called linear. And linear is where you will take the same path through a website and you don't really have much choice. So take my website here. When you're on a course, you have to follow it in specific order. You have to do task 1, save and continue. It will load. Once you've done that task, you then have to go on to the next one, which is the main challenge. And once you've done that, you move on to the next one, and then on to the next one in order, one at a time. So that's called linear. You then have the menu structure, where basically you can choose what you want to have a look at whatever time. So I can decide to go on football, I can decide to go on score center, I can go on video, I can go on motorsport, WWE. It's up to me. I get to choose. The final navigation structure is called the tree structure. Now, these are out of date. Tree structures don't really exist anymore. So I've had to look at a demo because no websites have a tree structure. So tree structures are where you can use different paths based on your interests. So look, I can collapse information. So let's say I want to look at books. Let's say I want to look at history. I can then open it up. It probably won't work because it's a demo. And it will take me to information about this dude or this dude. So a tree is similar to a menu, but it looks different. And you can take different paths like a menu. Up next is hyperlinks. And hyperlinks allow you to jump from one part of a website to another part of a website, or even to a completely different website. We've looked at this before. Now, on websites, you can use hyperlinks in two different ways. The first is hypertext links. So it's literally any link on a website which involves just text with no pictures attached. So you see here, this is a hyperlink text. It's got no pictures attached to it. So if I click on it, it will take me to a different part of a website. Now the second one is called a hyperlink image, and you can see these are images. If I click on it, it will take me to a different part of the website. If I go back a page, let's have a look at other hyperlink images. Here we go. View the menu. This is an image. If I click on it, there we go. Other websites which use hyperlink text, it's like the BBC. In fact, loads of websites do, but there you go. Now this is a hyperlink image because if I click on the picture, it will take me to the web page. This is a hyperlink text. Ooh, Trump threatens fury. So if I click on the text, it will jump me to another web page. There you go, hyperlinks text, hyperlink image. It's up to you what you're going to use, whatever looks best on your website. The next design tool is called a hotspot, and that basically is an image or text on a website where if you click on different parts of it, it takes you to different web pages or websites. So for example, if I click on the fries, it takes me to Wikipedia. If I click on the chicken, it also takes me to Wikipedia, but about chicken, whereas the fries, it's about fries. So a hotspot is literally an image or text where if you click on different parts of it, it takes you to different web pages or websites. Fun. A rollover button or image is literally when you put your mouse cursor over it, it changes state. So it might change color or it might change size. So let's have a look. If I put my mouse over watch it now, look, it changes shade. And look, the little purple thing is flashing up and down. I'm off it, on it. I can do this all day. Boom, boom, boom. Look at what happens here. Changes colour. Magic. Look at what happens here. It gets filled in. So all of these are rollover. You put your mouse over it, it changes. All websites have the most basic navigation called the back and forward button. Back, forward. So if I click on food, and I want to go back, I just click on the back button, and it navigates me. If I want to go back to it, so I go forward, and it navigates me. Simplest type of navigation. A sitemap is like a table of contents you get in a book, where it gives you an overview on what's on the website. So this is BBC London. What you see in front of you are different web pages on BBC London, and I can quickly get to these pages without having to go through lots of different menus, etc. So it's like a table of contents you get in a book. Look, if I just click on this, there you go. If I want to go back to the sitemap, here we go again. All of these are different web pages. They're not really around anymore, sitemaps. You find them very rarely on websites. The next feature, or technique shall I say, is what's called the favorites button, or the bookmark button. if I click on this star and I create a new folder, I'm going to save it in boring websites, which I may need later on for lessons. My bad. What this will allow me to do, it will allow me to come back to this web page in future years. So if I go to Google, and let's say in about a month's time, I'm like, okay, let's have a quick look at the different websites which I've been on in the past. What I can do is I can actually open up my favorites, and I can actually revisit the web page which I've been on before. It will save it forever unless I delete it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically my favorites. So let's have a look for it. There you go, favorites. Let's imagine it's 6 months down the line. There you go. Let it back up again. So you can organize it, and it's useful to come back to it if you want to save this website for later usage. It's either that or you write down the website address somewhere, but you're probably going to lose it if you're anything like me. The next tool and technique is called the anchor, and this basically allows you to jump to different parts of this web page just by a click. So let's say I want to get to the bottom. I'll click on it and it takes me right to the bottom. It's still on the same web page. So look, this is the same web page. It's pretty big. So I can scroll, or I can use an anchor link. So let's go to the third part of the web page, or the fifth part, or the seventh part. That's basically how this rolls. It's quite slick. If I want to get back to the top again, there you go. I'll click that. Very, very quick. So that's called an anchor. It allows you to jump to different parts of the same web page with ease. The next factor is navigation bars. All web browsers contain a navigation bar. This navigation bar has certain things such as the back button, the forward button, the refresh button, which refreshes content on the page. Let's say you want to update it, you click on refresh, it updates it. The open up homepage button, also this button will become the stop button. So if you're loading up something and you want to stop because you've actually realized you're running out of megabytes of data, you can stop it and it won't load anymore. You've also got the keyword search button, where you can actually type in URLs like www.bbc.co.uk, or you can type in searches like why do brown cows give white milk. All of those are part of the navigation bar, and you're going to be able to need to know what each one of these does. We've also got the favorites bar, which is hidden. Don't know where it's gone. There's the favorites. Normally you have favorites as well, where you click on the star and you add it to favorites. There you go. The next tool and technique is called leaderboards and banners. So on websites you normally get a banner which looks like this, and that's a way for them to do advertising, so they can sell space on their website for people to advertise, which is great because they get money. But each banner has a special name. But let's have a look at another banner. Not that one. There you go. Different banners, different styles with different names. And what you need to be aware of is that you've got a banner which is normally about this sort of size, 468 times 60. This isn't to scale, by the way. You've then got what's called a leaderboard banner, which is much bigger. So if we had a look at a leaderboard banner, let's just actually search for one. On a website, there you go. It covers quite a bit of the space of a web page. They can probably charge quite a bit of money for that space as well. So banners are great for advertisement, and the best one to use is the leaderboard ad. Takes up quite a bit of space, but you can charge quite a bit of money for it if your website's a good website. The final thing I'm going to show you is called web icons. Now, an icon is great because they're known throughout the world. Everyone in the world knows that this is Facebook. They know it by the icon. Everyone speaks different languages, but everyone still knows that's Facebook and that's YouTube. So icons can communicate quite a lot without saying too much. So they're very useful to have on websites. So let's just have a quick look at some different icons. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you should be able to identify most of these icons. So if I said to you what this one is, you should say to me it's a shopping basket used on online shops for every item you've added to that basket. So icons are used on different websites. So let's have a quick look at that Nando's again. There you go, they're using icons here. You should know that's help, register or user profile, and directions or map or search. There you go. So icons are a very powerful tool to use if used